here on a Saturday. We have two divisional matchups coming up today, two more tomorrow. We also have some breaking news on the show. Ian Rappaport reporting, yes, guys, breaking news.
I was about to say, is this for real? They didn't tell me in my ear.
Ian Rappaport saying that it's official now with the Texans. They did hire Brian Gain as their GM, and they signed Bill O'Brien to a long-term extension. There were some talks about uncertainty with him in the future, so now him and his quarterback, Deshaun Watson, can move forward together. Of course, this is hour 2 of Good Morning Football Weekend. I'm Colleen Wolfe. Benjamin Watson of the Ravens is with us this morning. You have such a great name. Benjamin Watson.
There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Watson.
Yeah, every
time. You know
time.
what movie that comes off of.
That is
100 times this year.
Michael Robinson.
Boom! In the building.
And Mike Garafolo.
Garafolo. That doesn't work.
There you go.
Broke his phone.
No, it's going to be Watson. That's so much better.
Benjamin Watson. It's awesome. I love it.
There's no good way to say my name like that. Doesn't work.
What do you mean?
With authority.
Jeezy.
I'm going to
There's a rapper named Jeezy, too. He's pretty cool.
Yeah, is it
Yeah.
Jeezy? Where did he come from?
It's you, right?
He stole my name.
Oh, is that what happened?
Stole his.
All right, so as we start this hour with Game 1 of the weekend, it is the Battle of the Angry Birds.
This Saturday afternoon, the Falcons play the Eagles. Here at GDM, we realize that both teams are
Bird, looks at Jones, the catch, touchdown Atlanta. Bird, touchdown, what a game, what a win. Bird. Oh my goodness, Deion Jones, sack, Fletcher caught, and the Eagles have the ball. Bird. It's unbelievable.
So we've basically taken over the link at this one. We have our sparrows out everywhere today. Amber Theo Harris and Steve Smith Sr. are posted up outside the link. And then Tiffany Blackman is covering things for the Falcons side. And James Palmer is all over the Eagles. I'm going to go to Tiffany first, even though those Eagles fans, I can hear them loud and clear with the chants this morning. But Tiffany, good morning to you.
Good morning, Colleen. Well, quarterback Matt Ryan, he said offensive coordinator Steve Sarkisian, he's done a great job of finding who they are week to week. And last week, they were a stick-to-the-run football team. They believe that's how they wore down the Rams. And they controlled that football in that game for 13 minutes in the third quarter. Ryan said they have to lean on the run even when it's not perfect, which we know it may not be today up against this Eagles defense, first in the league at stopping the run. And they haven't allowed a rushing touchdown here all season. But I can tell you this, in my experience covering the Falcons, being around Devontae Freeman, he's a guy that's never short on confidence, not even as he prepares to go up against the defense that shut them down last season. Now, speaking of the run game, James Palmer has more on that with the Eagles.
That's exactly right, Tiffany. All week in Philadelphia, we've been hearing how fast this Falcons defense is. They're a top 10 team against the run, but don't be surprised if the Eagles rely on Jay Ajayi and company in this game. The weather could play a factor in it, but the game plan as well. Doug Peterson this week being very open about how much they want to rely on that backfield, and they've managed the health of Jay Ajayi recently tremendously. They had the bye week, didn't play him in the regular season finale. He's had just 61 total snaps since week 13. And if you go to deeper in this season, he's the only running back to go against this Falcons defense to rush for over 100 yards. Amber, he did it 130 yards earlier this season when he was with the Miami Dolphins.
And James, we have to offer you a sincere apology. Earlier in the show, I referred to you as Jim Palmer, the great Orioles pitcher. We all know you are not a 20-game winner, but he did open his lapel so that he doesn't look so much like Dr. Evil.
Wow. I don't pose on TV in my underpants either.
Brother?
No.
I'm just waiting for Mr. Bigglesworth to appear. He's going to be holding a hairless chihuahua in the next shot. Good stuff. Sorry about that, James. We have to apologize. But let's talk about the Eagles and the Falcons. We're out here in the parking lot with the Eagles fans. This is going to be a huge matchup. The Eagles are the #1 seed. The Falcons are the #6 seed. And yet the Falcons are the favorites. How does that make the Eagles feel, do you think?
I mean, yes, those guys are not happy with it. They have a chip on their shoulder. But also, too, we wouldn't be saying any of this if Carson Wentz was in the lineup. Carson Wentz when they had Carson Wentz in the lineup, people were looking at the Eagles, looking up at them, chasing them, wanting to be them. And now with Carson Wentz not there, they have to really be on their P's and Q's. The defense has to step up, but the offense has to step up as well.
Also, though, this is motivation for
Yes.
them. I was talking to an executive within the Eagles organization, and he was saying, look, this was kind of a good thing. We were a little bit loose. We had the bye week, and now we tighten up. What do you think happened within those walls? What do you think the coaches would say to the players in this situation?
I mean, the coaches are telling the players, hey, we haven't won this game. We have to play it, and probably show the film of all the mistakes and the miscues that they've had with the absence of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz, this offense is built for him and around him, and they put some playmakers out there for them. Carson Wentz isn't there, so Nick Foles has to step up. He's missed some throws on the field. My colleague Mike Robinson has said he can't throw the ball everywhere on the field like Carson Wentz can.
So it's a different offense for sure with Nick Foles in, but don't tell that to the people here in Philadelphia. All of the talk radio stations as we were driving in, they all were angry. They all had that chip on their shoulder. This is home field advantage for the Eagles. They are the #1 seed, and they're going to try to prove it against the Falcons here tonight. Colleen.
That's right. That home field advantage, it definitely helps things. And as you mentioned, that Sports Talk Radio, WIP. I hope you were listening to WIP because that's Garofolo and I guess, alma mater? Is that right?
It was Angelo. I don't know who Angelo is.
Yes, Angelo Cataldi and the morning team. Shout out. All right, thank you guys.
Shout out.
Moving on to tonight's game, Tom Brady is playing in his 35th career playoff game, the most of all time. And he's trying to lead the Patriots to their 7th straight AFC title game. But standing in their way, a Titans team with a running game and some momentum on their side. Our Kim Jones and Steve White are all over these two teams right now in Foxborough.
Well, Kim, the Titans come into this game knowing they're going to run the football. That's what they do. That's how they're built. And Derrick Henry, the tailback who's playing because DeMarco Murray is hurt, had a big game last week against Kansas City. He's the guy.
Yes.
And the Patriots know he's going to be the guy. So how are they planning on lining up and stopping? What are they saying this week?
Well, they're saying, Steve, one guy might get there first, but the rest of them better follow. And a point that Bill Belichick made this week was one guy can't defend Mariota, one guy can't defend Derrick Henry. So they are going to be swarming to the ball. And I thought it interesting when a player said, it doesn't exactly matter who has the ball, it matters the mindset. And their mindset is to rally to the football.
Well, they're going to have to because these are two explosive players. I mean, people forget Derrick Henry was the Heisman Trophy winner. I mean, he's the guy who had 1,900 yards. He's a big play threat. So you talk about rallying to the ball, but he's a physical runner as well. He's someone, if he gets through the hole, he's gone. Now, the Titans players this week told me, regardless of the situation, they're going to pound the ball to Henry. But Marcus Mariota, as that running threat, Kim, the last 2 weeks he's run the ball 18 times. It's the biggest bunch of heavy running he's had all season. He's a big play threat as well. What are they saying about containing him on the ground?
Well, and the Patriots know that if there is space, either of these guys will find it. And then they're going to run away from you probably because of their speed. So they really have emphasized team defense, Steve. And that is what allowed this team to turn it around. After 4 games, the worst defense in the league. Since then, they rank toward the top of the league in almost every category. So this is a defense that feels good about itself, but still has that workmanlike quality of knowing, frankly, how bad it was to start the season.
Yeah, how bad it was to start the season, but it's not where you start, it's how you finish. The Titans also think they're playing good football right now, too.
All right, and we will see them a little later on tonight. Here's a fun little stat on Derrick Henry. When he's had at least 10 carries this year, the Titans, they never lost.
This is Mike Rob
They
right
were
here.
9-0.
Mike Rob's been saying it.
Fewer than 10 carries? The Titans went, what was it, Garofolo? They went 1-7.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's right on the screen there. But Mike Rob.